Welcome to day 9. This is going to be another low-key, chill, super chill. I'm watching this YouTube video about van life, and I'm about to make avocado toast. Well, technically, it's like, oh shoot, did I freeze it? No way. Technically, I guess it'll be like an egg salad. I mix boiled eggs with avocados because I don't like mayo, so it's kind of like egg salad without the mayo. I swap in avocados, but it's giving avocado toast. Y'all figure it out. I put those two together, some lemon juice, some lime juice, some seasonings like garlic, red peppers, black pepper, and get down, okay? I'm trying to um, pick something to watch on YouTube because that video just went off actually. Anyway, so I have my like toasted bread. Hey Angela. It might be like super toasted because I didn't change my sister's settings. Oh, it's not that bad. This is just like some French bread. And what I need to do is mix up the eggs and avocado. That's what I need to do. Hold on for me. Pretty please. Let me make sure this is on all messages because if you're trying to play me, put it on top messages. And I'm like, what do y'all deem top messages? I need to turn some lights on here. So the little topic I gave today is reparenting our parents. And I'm bringing that up just because I had a very interesting exchange with my dad today. Well, I think that he gets sad or upset when I get ready to leave Detroit. Like my flight is in the morning. So he gets a little bit frustrated, and then that means he gets a little bit snippy and crappy. And it's so interesting to watch now, is to be in a place where I I struggle. I struggle with both my parents growing up and my identity and place in this world. I struggled with um, feeling like I had to do certain things to like make them proud or happy or whatever. And it weighed a lot on me, so much so that I sought out therapy. And the first thing that the therapist was like I needed to deal with, based off of like all that I was complaining about in my life at the time, and this is my early 20s, was like my parents, my mommy issues and my daddy issues. And don't get me wrong, my parents love me a lot. But the number one thing I learned at that particular season of my therapy journey was that our parents are people too. And we don't realize it, but a lot of us inadvertently pedestalize our parents because of the position that they hold in our lives, right? Like, they are the person that tells us what's right and wrong. They're the ones who teach us good and bad. They are, for all intents and purposes, supposed to hold the moral high ground and kind of be judge and jury, right? As you're getting older, for how you should live your life up until you're able to form certain thoughts, feelings, and desires yourself. But in them being people themselves, and they are doing this life thing for the first time. Two, we forget that as their kids, and we kind of hold them to a very unrealistic standard, which doesn't allow for their humanity and personhood to really take up any space. And that's, again, something that I learned, like I was 20 or 21 maybe, in therapy. And I haven't been perfect since then. Like, I'm in my 30s now, but the older I get, the more, and then as they age, and like trying to be there for them as they age and just seeing how they're changing, I'm trying to have as much grace as possible, as much patience as possible. And our roles are kind of shifting. Like, in a lot of ways, I feel like I'm shifting into the role of the peer slash parent. Like, I be getting on my mama about her nutrition, and like eating whole vegetables and stop eating so many things with preservatives, and like the nutrients that she's consuming or not consuming, and all of this. And it blows my mind because I'm like, girl, wasn't you the one trying to get me to eat lima beans and grapes and whatnot? Where did we go wrong? Where did we start to change? So that is interesting to me. I got 4 eggs and a whole lime. That is very interesting to me. Um, but again, as I get older and I just really take a step back, and before I allow my feelings to inform my responses to various things, I really try to lean into thinking about them as people. And it's so clear to me some of the things as it's playing out. So like today, my father started getting really snippy with me. And it's not because he's pissed with me. It's because he doesn't want me to go. But he doesn't, he's a Caribbean man, honey. Caribbean man through and through, provider, loves you down, but it's not the words of affirmation type, not doing all that, right? So he's snapping, but I can tell that it's coming from that place. Because within the conversation of him snapping, he's also trying to provide advice on different stuff and like teach me different things. And my father really enjoys, I think, being able to provide you with resources or information, because like I said, he is 100% a provider. And for me, it's just about being emotionally intelligent enough to like not take certain things within like this conversation today personally, understanding where it's coming from, and then acting accordingly or not acting on any feelings that might elicit. Because before I'll be like, yo, like I didn't do nothing to you, yo, say the attitude. But I understand that he's having big feelings. He doesn't know what to do with those feelings, and he's not comfortable with saying how uncomfortable he is with me leaving, with not having the assistance that I provide since I'm going back to LA. And maybe that makes him a little sad. He's not comfortable with saying it. He's not going to say that. And that's okay, you know? Or at least for me, it's okay. Because I get it. Um, so I titled this, Is Anybody Else Reparenting Their Parents? Because I find myself in moments like this, as well as other ones, various ones, taking a position of like trying to give my parents the love, affirmation, grace, patience that maybe their parents didn't give them. So they weren't able to cultivate, hey, Shanoa, they weren't able to cultivate the things that I have been able to cultivate now. So like a certain level of emotional intelligence and like emotional stability, articulating my feelings. Like my mom, for example, she credits a lot to me in reference to like what she knows and like about her emotions and like how she communicates her emotions, because she was not raised to talk. Like my mom's side of the family, they don't talk about nothing. I was always the black sheep growing up because I'm gonna call a thing a thing. I'm gonna name the feeling. I'm gonna say you hurt me. I roll family members letters one time in my 20s, and I was just, they supported me, and I either thanked them or told them they need to get their shit together, interacting with me anymore because I was not taking the emotional abuse anymore. Like that was me. And for a lot of my growing up, people were looking at me like, what the fuck is wrong with this girl? This girl's crazy. She's weird. Like literally the black sheep. Because the audacity. But now, you know, as things have shifted, you know, the world is shifting a little bit. So there's a lot more words for a lot of things. I need a bigger bowl for this because I just did 2 avocados, which were 2 big size avocados and 4 eggs. And I ain't gonna have enough room to mix this. I'm making like an avocado toast. I was just watching one of your previous lives. Oh, I appreciate y'all so much. This looks so messy, but I promise y'all it's so good. So like now I just gotta mix this all up and turn it into my version of avocado toast. But what was I saying? Oh, let me put this lime. But yeah, I've often been the sole voice of various things, and it has made people uncomfortable. It has pissed people off. But now more people, because there's more language around it, because the world is shifting a little bit more. Now my parents and other family members are coming to a place and they're like, oh, I get it. And like, we come to Erica because she's going to understand our feelings and she's going to validate us. And I'm like, but wasn't none of y'all validate my ass. It's cool. It's cool. And again, I definitely found myself in that place with my parents. So like today, I did not get, like I wanted to get frustrated because we had a bunch of stuff going on actually with some of my dad's business stuff. And I wanted to get frustrated, but I was like, also, you know what? This is not about me. And I come like once every 3 months, if I'm lucky, to help my dad. He does a lot of very physical labor. I have 2 sisters. One lives here in Detroit, but she's very busy and they don't have the best relationship, so they don't engage that often. And my other sister lives in Alaska, so of course she's not here to help him. So it makes sense. Like it makes sense him being frustrated and feeling alone and all of that. And I just went to a place of like, well, if it was you in this moment and you were feeling alone, wouldn't you be frustrated? Would you be a little crabby? Would you be a little pissed? Probably. I don't know how crabby I would be just because I try to do a better job now of like not taking shit out on people that don't deserve it. But that's me and my journey. Again, a lot of our parents didn't grow up with parents who taught them these things or created space for them to have their feelings, process their feelings, articulate their feelings. So they're now getting to a place where they're doing it. And I, for one, want to give my parents that. Like, it makes me smile when, specifically when there's emotional moments, and I can be what I feel like maybe, or maybe not what I feel like, when I know nobody else has ever been for my mom. Like, in a lot of ways, how me and my mom talk now, especially when she's sharing like her life and her thoughts on different things, it's like I get to be her BFF, and a true one, because she's had some very questionable ass friends growing up. But a true one that like really is rooting for her, and I'm always, even though I live 3,000 miles away, I'm like, we're in this together. Whatever you got going on, girl, we in this together. Like, I need to see the health records when you go to the doctors. I need to know, you slipped. She fell, and I got so pissed, but also you got to manage how you not lash out on them. And she ain't tell me for a while. I'm like, you have to tell me that, because I have to start keeping track of this stuff. Because we're in this together. You're not doing the rest of your life alone. Like, she doesn't have a man, so she lives alone and everything. And it's like, we're in this together, honey. And it feels really good for her to know that she, again, is not alone. and she has somebody who she can vent to, who she can talk to, who she can laugh with. And I expose her to a lot of just new things just because of how I live my life. And she'll see me doing something and she's like, well, what is that? And I'm like, oh yeah, this is this and this is why I do this. And again, like I started this live and telling y'all, like, why am I arguing with you about the nutrition that you have, man? I'm gonna need you to get it together because we're trying to keep you here as long as possible. This looks so gross, I feel, but it tastes so good. Y'all not gonna understand. I'm gonna show y'all, but y'all probably gonna judge it, and that's fine. Chanel says, nah, I agree. I be telling my mom when she says something that hurts me and how she needs to apologize. Yeah, you have to. And don't get me wrong, it's not all peaches and cream. Like, a great example, when I was coming to Detroit, my mom was taking me to the train station so I could take the train to the airport. Because she don't drive to the airport, y'all. But they have like a shuttle or whatever. It's like real quick. But we were driving, and I was like, yeah, you know, I'm going to be back in November. I'll probably be back before then, but I'm definitely coming back in November because I had my high school reunion. And one of the things my mom doesn't realize that she does is she'll change the subject instead of herself or like things that she know more about or people that she's engaging with on a day-to-day basis. One of which, her pastor. She loves her pastor down. And her pastor went to my high school too. He's older than me, but he went to my high school. So I said that, and she's like, well, firstly she's like, oh, well, my high school, I've never been to a reunion for my high school. But you know, you went to Poly, so it was much better high school. My school was barely even a school anymore. It's not even the same name, yada yada. And then I realized that we were going off into like talking about her old high school, and I'm like, well, I'm kind of excited. And then I was telling her, my best friend that she knows is on the planning committee, and then she was like, well, yeah, Pastor be planning a bunch of stuff for Poly or whatever. And I was like, hey, what do you need from me in a conversation to just have a moment where we hover and focus on what I'm talking about versus kind of like deflecting or changing the subject? And she was like, oh, no, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm like, no, I'm not trying to make it a thing or like, you know, guilt you about it. But sometimes you do that in conversation. And I just want to take a moment because I have no problem listening and you sharing, you know, she'll share thoughts and stories from pastor and sister so-and-so and so yada. Everybody's doing all of the things, which is cool. This is who you spend the most amount of time with. You know all this stuff about these people's lives, but I find a lot that she doesn't know the same amount of about my life, I guess. And then she like shies away from sitting in it or again going back and centering herself or whatever she's most comfortable with in conversation. And it has taken us like having a conversation and me being like, hey, this, you're doing this again. And it's not to be harsh or rude or anything, but you know, they don't know it. And again, in the circumstances they're in life, you know, like I said, she lives alone. So when I come around, it's like, oh my God, I get to talk, I get to kiki, I get to cut up. Erica gonna listen to everything. So there's barely any room for me to take up space in conversation, and it's for me to like call to that and like, yo, no, I actually want to just talk about me right now. And she's coming along and like, okay, that's fair, and I get that. So it's even those things of like reparenting. Angela says, I think it's hard for them to acknowledge that they are getting older and need our help. Yes, that is also a very real thing. So that conflict is happening for them too. And they fighting it with all their spirit and soul. Girl, they are fighting it. My dad is like really bad because he always wants to be the provider. So he don't like being put in a position where he feels like he's not the one offering up everything. Okay. I know it looks crazy, but it's really tasty, I promise. You know what? It don't even matter if y'all judge me on it. I'm putting some red pepper flakes on top. It don't matter because it tastes bomb. I love me some avocados. I love me some eggs. That's why I can't be vegan all the way. Because of eggs and seafood. Yeah, I mean, and it's also like a really interesting position for you to find yourself as their child. And it's hard. You have to have a certain level of like self awareness and emotional intelligence to even be able to navigate them in the way they need. But I'm on this kick right now when I'm interacting with people, when I'm in relationship, I'm very hyper focused on like, well, what's the mission here? And it's not to make everything transactional or mission focused. It's just I feel like oftentimes we center ourselves too much, and a lot of things are really just not about us. So when it is about us, stand on business and like make sure people know that this is about you, and you need support or you need validation or you need affirmation. But when it's not about you, don't make it about you. You know, like today, my father is getting nice, nasty, but it's ultimately because he don't want me to leave. And you know what? That's fair. I'll give you that. It's no sweat off my brow, bro, to like not respond nastily to some of your little smart remarks because you love a little sarcasm because you're a Caribbean man. Like, you got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, my goal is for you to still feel supported, loved by me. I want, every interaction that we have for you to feel like, Erica shows up for me and I can trust her. So I'm not going to do anything in the moment, especially if it's not something that's really going to bother me that much, really affecting me or changing my life, to like lash out and then taint what I would want your feeling or your lasting impression of me to be, even if you're not acting the way that I would hope that you would act. Now we get to see how they were as children. Ooh, yes, that is also something that's starting to become very, very clear to me. Very clear. There are ways around the eggs and seafood as a vegan. There are, but I eat chickpeas as chickpeas. I don't want no damn chickpeas. It's no eggs. I'm from Maryland, and I grew up eating a lot of breakfast food. So there's certain things like eggs. The other stuff is just, and then again, I'm from Maryland, so seafood. And my priority not isn't necessarily to be vegan. It's to eat as healthily as possible and nourish my body as much as possible. I only don't eat meat because my body doesn't process it well, and I think it's specifically the meat that we have here in America because a lot of it is very toxic. So if I was not eating, if I was trying to be vegan because I just wanted to protect all animals, then cool. But like also honey. I don't like agave. I prefer honey. I will also not be considered vegan if I don't give up honey. Those are the three things that I'm like, I'm cool with not giving it up. And I'm cool with my lesser impact, but still impacting the animals. I'm sorry, y'all. Me and Jesus will work that out once I get to the pearly gates. But I'm finna eat these eggs. Just eggs with black salt. Tastes like eggs. Just eggs. I don't trust, hold on 1 second, y'all. I don't trust a lot of the like carton of eggs or egg whites or whatever. I try to do as least packaged things as possible depending on what it is because America's ghetto and I don't believe that they're actually give a fuck about our nutrition. Half the food that they're selling us is not actually what they're selling us. So for when it comes to eggs, I'm going to lean towards eating the egg I actually cracked that has no antibiotics and hopefully as close to naturally raised chickens as possible. But, that's just me. I get other people like other things. I don't not packed yet. But this is it, y'all. Aside from black pepper, have the red pepper flakes on top. Every now and again, depending on like what flavor profiles I'm trying to play with, I might put some honey, like drizzle lightly, because it'll give that salty sweet. Um, but I love it. I love me an avocado toast. And I don't always eat it this way. Like I used to just fry an egg and put it on top, or I'll just do a regular avocado, just avocado with maybe some radishes. Just do a little bit more lime. I did finally make the carrots and asparagus, y'all. My sister let it sit out all night. So, they were delicious when I ate them. She didn't put them away, so whatever. Woo. And as a surprise to so many people, this is really filling. And when I made it for my sister for the first time, she was like, "Not me being full." I'm like, "Yes, you being full." When I made it for her though, I don't think I put eggs. It was just avocado toast. Um, so many of my family members are like, "What? You just eat grass? I don't know how you sustain yourself." But then I make them something, and they're like, "Oh, I'm full," or "Oh, this tastes great." I'm like, "Oh, surprise, surprise." Anyway, how's y'all Friday going? I really need to be packing. We're gonna let this off. Clearly. I don't need anything extra, but berries. So we got the healthy fats from the avocados, some protein from the eggs, some antioxidants from the mixed berries. It's giving nourishing, y'all. It's giving nourishing. I don't know if my chat is not refreshing. So if y'all are talking, I'm so sorry. But it has been stuck on Angela's Just Egg comment for a while. Have y'all like realized as you're getting older that your dynamic with your parents is shifting? And don't get me wrong, my parents have been great and still support me in various ways. Like I live in LA and it's not easy. So they show up for me as well. It is not just, oh, they're good. It's like taking care of them. It's a mutual thing. But the amount of emotional and mental support that I provided has definitely continued to increase over the years. To that thing. Hold on 1 second. Shout out to Detroit. My favorite chips, which are not really great chips, the best healthy chips are Siete, but the non-healthy ones, my favorite ones are Utz, which are made in Baltimore. But second behind them are Better Made, which are made in Detroit, honey. Lay's can kiss my ass. So if you're just popping in, we're talking about reparenting our parents and some of the things that we're learning as we get older and we grow and our roles shift in relation to our parents. I wanna I wanna do a feature film about a black mother and daughter that really details the various stages you go through. Because when I tell you, me, my mother, bro, I want her to write a book because her life has some very interesting twists and turns. But because of certain decisions that she made, it affected me as a child in various ways on both sides of the spectrum. And it wasn't necessarily her intention, but you know, everything has consequences. And growing up and like forgiving her for doing the best that she could, you know, with what she knew, because she was raised a certain way, that has been a very humbling thing. And it's interesting because a lot of this has also informed how I want to, if I'm blessed to be a mother myself, what does parenting look like for me? One of the reasons why I have been very careful, well, not always very careful, because there's a couple times in life, child, where I could have, things could have went another way, unfortunately. But for the most part, for the majority of my life, I've been very careful to be um, very sexually intelligent, to not have kids, because I never wanted to be a baby mama, and that's not me trying to make like some type of statement against baby mamas, but like I just grew up in a family of like single mothers, and my mom and dad broke up when I was like 2, and then he moved to Detroit and went to grad school, and like my dad has been in my life all of my life, but it was like afar. um, and I always said that I wanted to raise kids with a husband and their father, or not at all. Um, just because I don't want to do the single mom life. But more than that, I didn't want to welcome kids into the world until I could, as much as possible, because nothing is perfect, but as much as possible, ensure that I wasn't bringing kids into a world to live a life that in their childhood that they would have to heal from in their adulthood, you know, if that makes sense. And I probably need to expand upon that, but like that's something that rings so true in my mind as I like am out here and dating and all of that and thinking about the future in that regard. Like my partner, my husband, the future father of my children, he gonna have to be on board with like being super aware of like we gotta check our shit, because I want kids that don't have to heal from their childhood, or at least not what we expose them to. This world is fucked up, and that's a whole other thing. But the world that we create for them within their home, no. I'm not trying to impart no trauma. And not that our parents were specifically trying to do that, but because they don't know what they don't know, and various things perpetuated generational trauma, I don't want to put children in that position. Which means being intentional about when you have them, being intentional about your economic status, being intentional about what you believe to be true, being intentional about who you have in your life and who will be around the kid. Like all of that has to be like super intentional to even stand a chance for that to be a thing. I really want to watch The Shy, because that just came back, right? Well, I'm on YouTube right now, so let me. Makes sense. Like, there will always be something you do wrong, but if you can avoid some of the more obvious pitfalls, especially the ones that you personally experienced, and that's the goal. Literally, like entering into parenthood with the understanding of like they didn't ask to be here. So there will never be a time where you say, where I communicate how hard it is to have them. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't ask to be here. um, and for the most part, like sheltering them in a lot of ways, like Yeah, you don't actually have to experience X, Y, and Z. Such and such does build character, but also kids need to be able to be kids. Fuck that. um, the new episode is really good. My sister don't have it on this damn TV, and I'm like, ugh, I don't want to download Paramount Plus, sign in, do all of the things, unless I have it. Do I have it on my iPad? 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Paramount Plus. Is this gonna make me sign into? Y'all are annoying. Oh no, I'm still signed in. Oh, this is my customer. Whatever, same difference. Damn near. Okay, I'll watch it from my iPad. But I'm gonna charge this. Hold on. Please hold one more time. Okay. Alright, y'all. I am going to watch the show tonight because I'm not going to be able to watch it while I'm live with y'all because I don't have time for Showtime's freaking copyrights. But yeah, that's what was on my mind today. Love my dad down. He's also a Cancer man, so he's emotional. But you know how men be trying to play like they're not emotional? I'm sure you're emotional. And it's fine. Oh, what I was saying, I want to do a feature with a mother and daughter that like major cycles that they go through. Starting at which where they're like at each other's throats, all the way till like they have a greater understanding for one another, see themselves in each other, and heal from whatever life things happen that could have potentially made it worse or exasperated any tensions that they have. Maybe even help one another heal from those things which bring them together. I can't speak for all communities, but I know in the Black community, there's sometimes a competition that's happening between mother and daughter. And sometimes, especially if the mother has experienced a bunch of trauma or feels robbed in various ways, they want to provide more for the child and give the child better, but then they also find themselves resenting the child more than they did, which is a very real thing. And I think all of those things would be really cool to see. Not to like just show the pain that's involved, but to just help people navigate it or realize like this is normal. You don't have to feel shame or guilt about it, but like here are ways to get through it. I think that would be awesome. I don't think I have seen that before. I haven't either, but I've definitely experienced it. It's so funny. I don't feel like I hold a grudge to her mom, but it's one thing. But there's one thing that she said to me that I would just never forget that she said it, and it was rooted in resentment and jealousy. And that was the first time I was like, oh my God, I didn't even think your parent could be capable of that, of you. Now, I don't feel like she's like that now, but in that particular season of her life, and we were in those ages, and it was so hurtful to me when she said it. Maybe I'll share it one day, just not today. But in going through the process of like unpacking where that came from and then forgiving her for that, I really feel like I got to a place of like, oh shit, this is a very real thing for them. And you could love something down and also wish you were it. And how do you process that? How do you navigate that? They don't teach you that in school. They damn sure didn't teach our grandmothers it. I think that in a lot of ways, my grandmother is jealous of my mother. In a lot of ways. It just shows up. Sometimes she's just so ridiculous with my mom. And even that, thinking about the grandmother, mother, daughter dynamic, the way I have to ride for my mom sometimes, going up against her mom, and I gotta still keep it respectful because that's her mom. But also, don't be playing with my mama like that. I don't know if y'all be experiencing it. I love my grandmother down. I think my grandmother loves me down, loves our family down, but she also has a bunch of that she got with her, and she's from a whole other era. Like, she was born in, I guess, the 30s, so it's some whole other shit happening. But she be trying my mama, and I'd be like, I would put the damn grandmother card down real quick and call her by her first name. Who are you talking to? Because you're not talking to my mama. Men are extremely emotional in my experience. Ain't they though? It's so funny how they give us a bad rap. The bad rap tied to it. I'm glad I released any kind of shame that I used to feel tied to like being overly emotional. You damn right I'm emotional. I'm very in touch with my emotions. And I also can name them hoes and articulate them hoes. And will. And will. But Angela, I think you're right. That would be really cool to see. Because we don't get to see that. And that's one of the things I just wish our media did more of, which it's doing exactly what it's designed to do in reference to be used as an agent of chaos in a lot of our communities and perpetuate certain narratives and reinforce certain narratives, which is why we don't see what I just described. But media is so powerful in that it could be the educating force within our community to help people not feel alone and see ways through various emotions, lived experiences, troubles, trauma, whatever. And it's like, no, Hollywood is not invested in helping people heal. They are invested in exploiting people, keeping people down, and perpetuating stereotypes because that's what our government would prefer. Our government and the capitalist halves, they would prefer that, so they don't green light stuff like what I just said. Like, what is a massively marketed feature film or television show about the dynamics of black motherhood with the daughter and like living and healing through various things? What is that going to do to help line the pockets of the elite in our society, or people who already have? What is that going to do for the government? Help empower black women more, help teach black women how to handle their emotions where they make a lot of money off of our rage. So yeah, especially before the parent has dementia or on their deathbed. Yeah, that oh my god, that sits on my mind so often. I think that's what's helping me to really cultivate more grace and patience for my parents, because like my mom has diabetes, and from what I've been researching, dementia or Alzheimer's, not dementia, Alzheimer's is likened to like diabetes 3 or like sugar in the brain. So I'm always like, I don't want this for her, but I'm always trying to like stay akin and tune to like what can we do to make sure she doesn't get to that point, because I'm like, how am I going to handle that? And then, just getting older, you start to forget and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like the older they're getting, the more grace and patience I have, because I don't know how much longer I'm going to have them in the state that they're in, even when they're getting on my nerves or stressing me out or being nice Nancy like my dad was today. It could be so much worse. Shanoa says, my mom had a very traumatic childhood, so I think she just wanted me to avoid some of the things that she went through. Yeah, and because some of them go through really traumatic experiences and they learn by additional trauma, sometimes they expose us to that because they like, you gotta learn too, and this is how I learn. It's like, girl, I don't need to get knocked upside my head. But they don't really know that and register that. But she has the best intentions. So I feel that. Okay, I'm gonna turn this down. I turned on the vlog. I like this girl's aesthetic. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't really love eating on camera, but I'm hungry. Oh no, did she just go to McDonald's? Girl, I gotta cut this shit off. I can't support you doing that doofy shit in this day and age. Y'all, please don't be ordering Starbucks and don't be eating at McDonald's. Bare minimum. McDonald's is feeding IDF soldiers, and Starbucks is suing their goddamn workers union because they support Palestine. Like, they on the wrong side of goddamn history, and we don't need to be there with their asses. I don't think we have books out that discuss the child becoming a parent. I'm learning that because I've been looking for some, and I ain't finding them. Is that an ad or what? Let me just see the Netflix. I really don't play logging into her account right now, or to my account on the TV. I also am very grateful that I even still have both my parents. Because once you get into your 30s, there's people who are losing their parents. And I'm like, damn, I could not imagine. I just know somebody got a book called Parenting Your Parents. Have to. Do they? I haven't seen it as of yet. Oh, A Man in Full. That was directed by Regina King. Maybe I should watch that. I also need to be packing. Child, I will cut an episode of Girlfriends on so quick. So quick. Y'all know the struggle of like trying to find something to turn on, and you want to watch something that's good, but then I also don't want to pick nothing new that I gotta actually pay attention to. So then you're like, well, what the hell do you select? That's where I'm at right now. Oh, I haven't finished Champion. What did I? I can't remember. If they don't, they missing out on a good title. That is, yes, Girlfriend. Well, I wouldn't say it's my comfort show. Maybe it is. Where do I go to? Right now I'm in a season of like comfort vloggers that I'll put on in the background. Girlfriends is always interesting to me. Um, I think that they held up beautifully in reference to storylines and like the things that were discussed. Now they're still very relevant. I think a comfort show. I'm thinking of like, what do I watch the most? What do I rewatch the most? Maybe it is Girlfriends. I rewatch Girlfriends the most. Maybe. I go through seasons of stuff. So like I was in a season where I was rewatching 101 like crazy and half and half. Oh my god, I was rewatching half and half like every night for 4 or 5 hours. Loved it. The game. I'm sad. Champion didn't give a new. Oh, it didn't. I haven't even kept up with a child. I'm not surprised. That is saddening, but I'm not surprised. Because it's stuff like that they don't see the value in. They don't give it enough time to really find its audience. That's so good. I don't think I finished the season now that I think about it. So I gotta finish that. Why do we need a roast of Tom Brady? Like, who gives a shit about Tom Brady? I'm sorry if y'all are watching and you give a shit about Tom Brady, but I don't watch football and I don't care. I am, though, paying attention to that little new young boy, Dion. Is his name Dion? Like the little boy on All American? I'm just now making that connection. The little light skinned boy who is charismatic as and he's just so cool. He did his little press conference. He was eating them snacks off the table. I'm seeing a bunch of TikTok clips of his various moments, and I'm like, okay, I'm rooting for you, sir. You didn't got it out the mud. They didn't ask you very relatable questions. I hope that you do not let this industry change you. Okay, I think I'm about to cut on. I'm about to cut on a show that Regina directed. I'm just gonna have to. I never watched The Get Down, and y'all was telling me that The Get Down was great, but like I think I never watched it out of spite because when I went to want to watch it, they had canceled it, and I'm like, what the? They also shoot themselves in the foot in a lot of ways in reference to that because they're not green lighting shows for long enough, shooting enough episodes. Again, people who would get into it won't because they're just like, well, why am I doing it? They ain't gonna keep it anyway. An Atlanta tycoon facing bankruptcy. Okay, I didn't tell your ass to start playing. I'm trying to read. Did y'all watch this? It's called A Man in Full. An Atlanta tycoon facing bankruptcy fights his way back to the top of this drama from creator David E. Kelly and executive producer Regina King. He fights his way back to the top of what? To do what? What is happening? Atlanta tycoon facing bankruptcy fights his way back to like financial success. I don't give a goddamn about no white man getting his billions back, but I give a damn about Regina King. I need more info. Oh yeah, and Shantae Adams is in it. See, and Emil me. Now y'all done got me. Y'all done got me. Fine. Let's watch this little white man get his money back. Okay. That just happened to me with the other black girl. I just heard it canceled today. I ain't gonna hold you. I didn't finish the other black girl. I didn't like it. I couldn't finish it. I couldn't pick up what they was putting down. But black cake, we would love more of that. But baby, the other black girl, I couldn't get with it. Oh, it just popped up on the Instagram. Not Jeffrey posted this on her IG story. I think that this is over for them. So we know we're not getting more than 13 episodes for them because they all posting like this is the last time. Um, congrats. Hold on. All of them have been posting like kind of like their farewells. The hell is that? Oh, the documentary around P Valley. Not y'all trying to hold us over. Bring us the goddamn show, please. I'm not even watching this damn show. Let me start over. I gotta get ready to get off of here. I gotta eat. Look, y'all, I ain't eat nothing. Damn near half. And I'm sitting up here yucking it up with y'all. Okay. I read the book, so it was on my list, and now I don't want to even bother. Of Black Cake. Black Cake is amazing. Like, really good. The other black girl, like, they just missed the mark in so many ways for me early on. And I was just like, I'm bored, bro. Like, I'm really bored. But also, I will say, like sci-fi is not necessarily my thing. You have to be, like, to me, like, really, really incredible sci-fi. So, like, Lovecraft Country is not my genre. But, baby, every week I was set. Here, set. Yeah. Black Cake is worth it. And I think that they did get renewed, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the book was towards the end too. I was disappointed, but I thought they might have reworked it for the show. Uh, Child. And you know, I try to watch everything black. And it was named The Other Black Girl. I'm like, okay, this is right up my alley. This is a no-brainer. The protagonist, I couldn't even root for her. I'm like, girl, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're setting yourself up. It's giving dummy. No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Oh, shit. God damn it. My clumsy ass. Y'all, I just spilled this damn juice on my sister's rug. Let me get some baking soda. Let me go. Let me get some baking soda, and I gotta go. Y'all, if you watch A Man in Full, let me know. I'm about to watch the first episode at least, and then I'm gonna watch the Shot episode, and hopefully catch up on my breakdowns and then talk about it, because I do actually like the Shot this season. No, I watched Black Cake. It was great. Didn't read the book though. Oh, okay. Oh, you're saying you don't know if you want to watch The Other Black Girl because it didn't get renewed, but you read the book? I think that's what you might be saying. Yeah, I don't think you're missing anything, but I also didn't finish it, so maybe they redeemed themselves by the end, but I was just like, I'm okay. It didn't stay, y'all. I don't like coming to people's houses tearing shit up. Okay, so I'm about to go. Peace, love, and prosperity to you and your parents. Bear with them. Have grace. Pray for him. The actress that played Cubby's mom is oh, she's so gorgeous. I want to see her more stuff. Yeah. Um, for sure. I agree. And just continue doing your best, y'all. Because that's what we all out here doing. Figuring it out as we go along and doing our goddamn best. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. I was going to do an airport Ask Me Anything, but I think I'm going to move that to Tuesday because I got a flight on Tuesday. Flying back to Baltimore tomorrow, and then Tuesday I'm flying back to LA. So I think I'm going to do the Ask Me Anything at the airport Tuesday because this flight back to Baltimore is really quick. So tomorrow I'll go live from my mom's house. I don't know what it'll be about, but you can make suggestions in the comments. And I'll see you tomorrow.